Hey guys, today SorehaNick, and today we're talking about the Season 6 meta for 2042. Now, I know you have seen many videos on this topic, but I wanted to make sure that my video was good. That's why it took so long. I wanted to make sure the damage numbers were right, the damage ranges were right, and all that good stuff. So, if you enjoy, give it a like. Before we get into it, if you do not know what meta is or soft meta or any of these terms, I recommend you go watch my meta video that I'm putting out right beside this one. It explains all this stuff, so please check it out if you don't know, and then come back to this one. So let's get started with the operators or specialists. I want to call them operators, full disclosure, because the first game I kind of interacted with this stuff with is Siege, so they're operators to me. So obviously, McKay and Falk are going to be the best ones. You know, McKay can do anything he wants. He can go anywhere he wants. He's the off-angle king. And then Falk just has unlimited utility. She has unlimited grenades, unlimited ammo, and for her friends around her, unlimited gadgets as well with that ammo box. And on top of all that, she could heal everybody and then res them really fast. An enemy could wipe out your whole squad, you can kill them, and everyone will be up in like 5 seconds. So definitely really good. As far as soft meta operators, I would say the person that fits here the best would be Zane. Zane is this person that, from the outside looking in, he doesn't seem good. He has a gimmicky gadget, you know, doesn't really seem interesting. But when you're actually like 1v4, 1v5, and you're playing Zane, like, you pretty much feel like a god. You know, we call him the Doomslayer because his neutral is that he gains health regen per kill, and when you're killing multiple people, constantly getting health regen, you know, you get to, 20 health after a fight, then you slowly wait to like 30, 40, then you ego challenge another person, then you're at 20 again, and then you just keep repeating that until everyone is gone. You just feel like a god. But the caveat and why I can't really put him in the meta operator slot is that his gadget is just not good enough, and the ease of use of his whole kit is just not that good, so I can't really put him in the meta operator slot. Now, I do have as well Irish, Dozer, and Sundance with an asterisk in the soft meta slot because the new map, obviously Season 6, everyone's gonna be playing this new map, and they are really, really, really good. Irish, I would even argue, is a meta operator for that map because of how necessary he is with all the grenade spams in Sundance. You know, he's the only person that counters her grenade, which is super, super, super strong, right? She throws one and she can get a double kill very easily. One APS could just zap that away instantly. So definitely would consider those three there. And Dozer, because smokes are really important on this map, he could just sit and smoke and like you'll come through, he kills you, or you're going up a zip line, up, Dozer's there, he insta-kills you, right? So a lot of those moments, and that's why I put Dozer in there in the soft meta slot, but he barely slips by. Now let's talk about weapons. Now, let's get this out of the way. Any shotgun is good right now. If you use the Remington, if you use the 12M auto, you use any of them, they're good. So just get that out of the way, use them, they're good. If you played the game at all, you know by now. So let's move on to the new AR, the VHX-D3. Now, you might see a bunch of numbers here with the damages and all of that. I'm going to shorten them real quick. I don't know why they made the damage numbers like that, but we're just going to keep the ranges in meters and the shots to kill up there just to make it simpler and easy to follow. So this gun has an RPM of 850, meaning that in my head, I'm already expecting it to be more like the M5, but it's actually more closely related to the AM40 with its 4-shot maximum damage. And why you should use this gun over the AM40 is that it is insanely accurate, even with no attachments. I was very shocked at how far you can make this gun reach out and kill targets. And as well as that, it has access to underbarrel grenade launchers, which is something that the AM40 just straight up doesn't have. So this definitely kind of power creeps out the AM40, but I still think the AM40's quick reload kind of still makes it usable, but I think it's not strong enough to be considered soft meta anymore because the VHX just kind of invalidates every reason why you should use the gun, and also the G36C, which I'm going to talk about later, also kind of does that. As for attachments, I'd recommend a red dot of your choice. I personally use the Fusion Hollow, tactical compensator, BCG light grip, and 40-round extended magazine, just so you don't have to reload it a lot, although you will get a slight reload penalty, so do keep that in mind. The next gun we're going to talk about on our list is some gun that got nerfed, is the ACWR. Now this gun's nerf was pretty much to its 4-shot range. It got a 10-meter reduction, so now it'll only 4-shot you up to about 19 meters instead of the 29 it was before. It's still pretty good, especially with the consistency and the lack of recoil on the gun. So I would still consider this meta, but it barely squeaks through. I could understand if someone said this was a soft meta gun. I completely would understand, especially since it has only a 720 RPM. It's not fast, it's not slow, but you know, it's there, it's good, it's consistent, and it's very, very, very reliable. Now, as far as attachments I would go on this gun, again, red dot of your choice, the default barrel. Don't put anything on your barrel because every other option is really bad. You can maybe put a suppressor in one of your plus menu options, but suppressors, since the nerfs, don't really do a whole lot to benefit you, so I wouldn't even worry about that. For the underbarrel, the STNR laser sight is the best option there. You're gonna get that decrease in recoil plus that increase in hip fires, so definitely really good. And then you're gonna want that 40 round extended magazine. Now I know it says 36 in game, but it's actually 41 when you actually play with it. Now the next gun we're gonna be talking about is the GEW46, or what I'm gonna call for the rest of the video, the G36C. Definitely really good. This is the gun that I would argue kind of pushes the ACWR to soft meta, but the consistency of the ACWR kind of makes it stand on its own 2 feet, so that's why I'm not quite doing it. As well as that, the standard rounds and the high powered rounds fit their own niches like around the ACWR, so they don't quite impact it. For example, the standard rounds has only a 9 to 10 shot 4-shot range, but having a 30 RPM increase to the ACWR's 720, but the high power rounds has a similar 4-shot range to the ACWR, ending at 19 meters, while only being 700 rounds per minute. But after it drops to 5 shots to kill, it doesn't drop off anymore. I went back, I think, to around 110, 130 meters. I went on that bridge in North Charles Canal where I was testing, and insanely, it was still a 5-shot, hitting that 22 damage minimum. So definitely, you gotta pick your poison there. Do you want that insane consistency of the high-powered G36C, but 700 rounds per minute? Do you want a balanced option with a good RPM with 720, the same 4-shot range, but it does drop down to 6 shots? Or do you want the 750 round per minute option, but your 4-shot is now down to 9 meters? So those two guns are definitely really close in contention, and I guess you just have to try which one to see which one you like. Now, as far as attachments for the G36C, I would go with a red dot, tactical compensator, BCG light grip, and your choice of magazine with the standard rounds or the high-powered extended. Next on the list is a gun that I really didn't expect to still be in the meta category after its nerfs, but it is still insane, and that is the RM68. With the 710 RPM, it is a little slower than the ACWR, but what it lacks in that RPM, it gains in having no drop off after it switches to that 5-shot, meaning that after that 29 meter 4-shot, yes, 29 meters, it just is just a 5-shot kill no matter where you are, unless it drops off at like 200 meters or something, which at that point, why are you shooting at that person? So definitely still in the contention for meta. For whatever reason, I can't believe it's still that good. Now, it does suffer from accuracy, so keep in mind it's not like how it launched, but still, outside of that, it is still extremely good. Now, what you're going to want on the gun is a red dot, the short barrel, BCG light grip, or the MGL laser, depending on which option you want, and the 30 round extended magazine. Next on the list is the PBX45. It's a really solid SMG with its base at 800 rounds per minute. It's got a bunch of buffs which made it really competitive, but there was one stealth change which I'm still convinced is a bug, and no one will be able to convince me otherwise. It's close combat rounds, which is actually 850 rounds per minute, being able to 4-shot you at a whopping 20 meters away. Not even its high-powered rounds do that. So it's insanely good. Or you have more 4-shot range than a lot of assault rifles, as well as having that ADS movement speed bonus that all SMGs have. It's extremely strong right now, and if you're not using it, if you use the PBX, you definitely need to give it a try, because after that stealth buff, it is insane right now. The attachments, of course, the standard fare, red dot, tactical compensator, BCG light grip, or the MGL laser. Because it is an SMG, you probably would consider using a laser sight to increase that close quarter power even more, and then obviously this 36 round close combat. Without that, it's definitely good. It may be a little less meta than with close combat rounds, but close combat is what puts it up there as definitely a meta option. Now, this wouldn't be a meta video if we didn't talk about the PP29. This thing has been dominant ever since the game released, when you can use no other guns. This is the only gun with good hit reg. Several years later, it is still the top dog. Just some formality, 700 rounds per minute, RPM with that standard rounds, or 650 with high powered. Both are really strong options. High powered pretty much turns this thing into an AR with the SMG strafe speed bonuses, so definitely really good. But the 700 rounds per minute, do not count those out. It still is extremely good. Both of them have a 29 meter 4-shot range, and again, we are talking about an SMG here. The only real difference between the two is the high powered gets 50 less RPM, but the 5-shot range goes from 30 meters all the way to 74 meters, and then it drops off one last time, 75 meters, and onward is a 6-shot kill. So definitely one of the best options, depending on if you prefer range or that close quarter rate of fire. You know, you just pick your poison with that gun, but it'll do great. I mean, the magazine size is insane, 64 for standard and 53 for high power, so you can just fire and just hold down the trigger. Now, I wouldn't hold it down too hard because it did receive a nerf recently to its accuracy, so that will impact you, but it's still an insanely good gun that many people use. Now, for attachments, you don't have an underbarrel slot, so it makes it pretty easy. Just red dot, tactical compensator, and then the magazine of your choice. The VCAR is one of those sleeper guns that no one knows about. It's kind of secretly meta and is so good. I'm actually shocked that not a lot of people use it. I would argue it's even better than the PP29, but it's a secret that many people just keep on the low. Insanely fast RPM at 520 rounds per minute. Insanely good damage range with a 29 meter 3-shot kill. Just all around really good, and it only drops down to a 5-shot kill. Again, it's insane. What you're going to want to put on it is a simple red dot, short barrel, MGL laser, and that 30 round extended magazine, or whichever magazine of your choice. I prefer this one because it's a good balance of bullets in my gun and the reload speed. And lastly, we cannot talk about meta guns without mentioning the OP G57 sidearm. Now, if you want to use a sidearm, it's the only one you're going to use if you really want to try. You just switch to that burst fire mode, and it turns it from a 450 round per minute gun to a gun with an RPM of 999 within the burst. That's crazy. Like, really think about that. You down people extremely fast, and you've been seeing a growing trend of a lot of people starting to just use that as their primary weapon because it downs you so quick. I mean, it could 2-shot headshot you because the pistol multiplier is insane for whatever reason, higher than the SMGs, by the way. And so yeah, if you want to use a sidearm, just use that one. Now let's start off with the soft meta options, starting out with the AK-971. Now, this gun released to a poor reception, but throughout the months it's gotten a bunch of updates to the point where I can confidently say it's at least soft meta now. It's very good, recoil is good, rate of fire is really good, 9 rounds per minute, and everything about this gun is just really solid. Now, it's not meta, there's better options. For example, the new AR kind of beats it in like every single way, but the AK is still an extremely strong weapon right now. What you just want to put on it is a red dot, tactical compensator. You can have a choice of a laser or just filling your entire T slot out with grenade launcher rounds and the 40 round extended magazine, just so you have a lot of rounds in your gun. Next, I would say the AC9 is also soft meta in the game. It has a really good RPM of 1080, and it's pretty much the old K30, but surprisingly enough, no one really uses it. Now, the reason why I'm not putting this in meta is because the PBX is just that dominant, that kind of fills out that close quarter role that the PP kind of leaves out because of its rate of fire. There's no real room for the HD9, and as well as that, the recoil is kind of bad on it. Worse compared to the PP29 and the PBX, so it's not really a role it is there, but within its niche, it is extremely good, and it has extremely fast reload speeds, so that's why I'm putting it in soft meta. The attachments you want are pretty simple. You just want a red dot on it, champion muzzle brake to control that recoil, the STNR laser sight just to let that hip fire go, and so you don't have to aim it as much, you just run around hip firing, and a 40 round close combat for your magazine. Next up is the Super 500. Now, do you come from Destiny 2 or Gears of War? Do you miss having a shotgun in your back pocket? Well, that's that gun. With the game being ran by shotguns, it is always nice to have one in your back pocket in case things get dicey or you need to kill someone really fast. It's really good, and for attachments, it's a shotgun. I mean, you don't really have to think hard about it, just put things on it, and as long as it's not a scope, and you should be good. Use slugs if you want, if you can land up that headshot, but other than that, it's pretty much user choice. Now, a bit controversial, but the Rex is also soft meta as it has the highest one-shot range for an actual revolver, and I do not count the M44 because I count this as a pocket sniper really. The way you have to pull back the hammer after every shot is very similar to how you'd pull back a sniper bolt after every shot, and the fact that its range, I believe, it's at least 100 or 99 meters for that one hit kill. I mean, it is pretty much a pocket sniper rifle, as well as very clunky in close quarters. So the Rex, if you want that fast handling option revolver with that one hit kill, is really your best bet. Now, it will one-shot headshot someone at 50 meters, 49, 50 meters, and it has a rate RPM of 255. Making it middle of the road as far as its main competitor, the Deagle, with his, I believe it's 240 off the top of my head, and his close combat round is like 276 or 77, I forget that number, I don't really use close combat on it. But yeah, definitely I would consider using the Rex as a soft meta. Now, as far as the Deagle, I don't really consider it soft meta because it's really pitiful, and its low one-shot headshot range makes it mainly focus on its two-shot body shot kill, which at that point, I'm just gonna use the G57. Like, I don't really see a point in the Deagle. But yeah, that was a long video. Now, I will make a shorter one that I have linked in the beginning of this one. It's the top right, if you just wanted the attachments and all that. And there's also the chapters thing. I'm gonna try to get that to work, just so you can click whatever gun you want to see, and then you can just get the information right then, instantly, and know why the gun is good. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, and future highlights coming soon, and I'll catch you guys next time. Stay positive.